related to inability to meet self-imposed standards of achievement. Ding, ding, ding! Cash pouring sound, but it's just a bunch of bottle caps. 3 insecure cherries across the board. That's me. Not to brag, but imposter syndrome was initially believed to occur only in women. Although in a 1993 follow-up article co-written with Dr. Joe Langford, Dr. Clance reframed it as an affliction without prejudice. By and large, though, women seem to suffer from it with more intensity. It's always ladies' night when it comes to self-doubt. Or is it? Since then, the term has been freely bandied about in pop psychology and business circles, in no small part due to its boundless circulation online, especially on social media. There are now ample arguments both for and against its existence. Some academics and journalists posit that it's not a diagnosable syndrome at all, but rather a common human experience. The original researchers themselves did, after all, refer to this set of feelings as a phenomenon. Others feel it's a corporate shorthand term, if not a fall guy, for a complex interplay of factors in one's life. New York Times writer Benedict Carey even argued that it might be a social strategy rather than an involuntary tendency. Carey wrote that, according to a 2000 Wake Forest University study, people who self-presented as imposters ranked themselves more highly in private. Fully aware of their competency, they still wanted to be perceived as less arrogant in order to come across as more agreeable/invitable to parties and happy hours. Sorry, Benny C., that ain't me. Though this may explain why this strategy appeals to some women. Everybody knows we're far less likable if we're seen as being full of ourselves, unlike men for whom more swagger means more, better, everything. But it can go too far when the phony has a certain ring to it, ends up believing their own humble act, overriding the benefits they'd hoped to reap. These days, there is increasing pushback against the term, which begs the question, why did I go and write a whole book about my experience with it? I suppose whether or not it's technically an actual pathology, like many psychology concepts, the suggestibility factor is there. I relate to the experience it describes. And ironically, even this constant parsing and questioning of imposter syndrome is fully on brand. Does it even exist? Is the whole thing itself a fraud? Quick palate cleanser. Question: what do you call a worldwide symposium of people with imposter syndrome? Answer: long con. Right before I got my first big break in comedy, a job as a writer-performer on the late-night show Totally Biased with W. Kamau Bell, I turned 30 and was temping by day at a big studio in Los Angeles, doing stand-up comedy by night, stuck in that very human way where time is moving forward, but it sure doesn't feel like you are. Also, my relationship with my boyfriend of nearly 5 years and whom I lived with was irrevocably falling apart. I was staunchly depressed thanks to my situation and my brain. Thankfully, I could afford to go to pay-what-you-can therapy, where the clinic's guiding philosophy was, yeah, that sucks you're mentally imploding, but you paid $10, so you see our dilemma. To cap off the low-grade Greek tragedy, my boyfriend and I had just rid our apartment of fleas for the second time. We did not have pets. The likely culprit was a stray cat who liked to conduct sit-ins on our welcome mat, a form of protest I typically respect. To add insult to injury, the fleas left my boyfriend alone and bit only me, leaving me constantly itchy and gaslit in my own home. Conveniently, this is also an apt metaphor for trying to make it in show business as both a woman and a minority. You experience negatives that are clearly at play, but your male or white counterparts don't seem to be affected by them, whether that's being automatically considered for fewer opportunities because of how you look or present, yes, even now, or not knowing whether people value you for your actual ability or just for the fact you make them look more open-minded, essentially as college admissions brochure set dressing. Worst of all, you're constantly scratching your feet and weirding out potential employers. Fine, I took it too far. I was very close to quitting comedy. I didn't know how to move forward in an industry that wasn't even vaguely concerned with making room for me. In the universe's defense, I had lived in LA for only about 2 years.